everyone, and welcome to Something for the Weekend with me, Fiona Scott.
Me, Kathie Griffith.
Me, Ellis Butcher.
And me, Stephen Day.
Yeah, this is our weekly Friday slot where we're just, the Open Times team are just chatting away about what we're going to be doing at the weekend. So we're all speaking in this lovely weather today, sitting in our own gardens and our own properties during what's the ongoing lockdown situation. So how are you guys all doing?
Fine, thank you. I'm just wondering whether Ellis's gap to say hello was because he popped back into the house to get an ice lolly or something out of the freezer.
Have you got an ice cream there, Ellis?
Mine's 99 if you get them in.
Could I maybe just say that although you maybe are all in lovely gardens, I'm in a dark, cold hole in the office.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Stevie. We've stuck you in the broom cupboard again.
Yeah, at least the brooms are nice to me.
You've got a window. You can look out, can't you?
Yeah, I can see the boiler room.
It's not Ellis's boiler room, is it?
Oh.
Not as far as I know, unless he's closer than I think. But social distancing, he shouldn't be.
Okay, so but our thoughts are always
Stevie.
Stevie sitting
the
in
weekend's coming up though. We'll let you out. We'll let you out for day release at the weekend.
Do we? No. We still have IT problems over the weekend, Ellis. Keep him in there.
I live here.
So has anybody got any exciting plans for this weekend?
Well, I'm going to have another go at my new sport.
What would that be, Kathie? I'm missing sport. Can you video it for me?
Well, unfortunately, I think there's already a video somewhere of it, but it's my garden kayaking. Because a lovely friend gave me a kayak quite a few months ago, and I've been looking at this kayak in the garden thinking, I wonder if I can actually even get into it. So I've been putting it off, but a couple of days ago I did have a go at getting in. Now, getting in wasn't too bad. It's on the grass, so it's not near any water or anything. Got in it, fine. Trying to get out of it, I'm just so glad that there was someone nearby because I might have still been stuck in it now. I could not get out of the thing. I actually had to capsize myself onto the grass and try and wriggle or ease my way to get out of it.
We definitely need the video for that,
Yeah.
Kathie. Was it like trying to get out of a massive, great big welly boot?
It was. It was. You know, honestly, if someone hadn't been here, I might have just been getting a little bit scared. So we all have to stay safe. And that includes getting into kayaks and making sure you can get out of them okay. But apparently there's a good way of getting out, which I now know, that you put the paddle, because I actually was doing a bit of air paddling, you know, like air guitar, but with a paddle, air paddling. And if you put it on the back of you and sort of rest it on the behind you and then put your arms on either side, you're supposed to hoik yourself out. So I might have another go at that. But I just thought, yeah, garden kayaking, why not?
Well, Kathie, if I ever get stuck in a kayak in my garden, I'm so glad now that I know how to get out of it. That just ain't going to happen. Ellis, what are you getting yourself stuck into this weekend?
Do you know what I managed to find in the boiler room this week? Single, very, very heavy dumbbell. Just one. And I needed a crane just to get it from the boiler room into my room. Which actually reminds me, I used to know this guy, and let's just say he wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger by any stretch of the imagination. He must have been 6 stone wet through. And the fabled tale is that he decided that he was going to take up bodybuilding. So rather than go to a gym, he wanted to sort of prepare himself. So he'd gone along to a major supermarket retailer, shall we say, in the high street, and ordered himself some massive dumbbells and a home gym kit. And then realised it was so heavy they had to ring his mum to get him to come and pick him up and take it all home for him because he couldn't carry it on his own. And that's what I was reminded of that when I found this solitary dumbbell. I can't remember how many kilograms it is, but I think it's getting on for like 18 kilograms. Ooh. So I'm going to get pumped away doing that.
So what are you going to do on the other side then?
I'm still working on that bit. I'm still working on that bit, yeah. I'll have to just sort of swap routines, or I might just end up with a really strong left arm or something.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, much as I'd love you to join you all in your exercise regimes, I think I'm going to stick to my norm this weekend and do some cooking. I'm still finding all these great recipes that people are sending in for lockdowns. So we have a lovely summer chili chicken this weekend, which will be fantastic. Washed down with a Pinot Grigio, funnily enough. And that'll set me up for family quiz night on tonight. So that's going good. Is there anybody else involved in any of these quizzes yet?
Yeah, I do one that's been organised locally in Oban, and it is great fun, I have to say. It gets a bit confusing when you have 30 or 40 people in a Zoom meeting, but once the mics are all muted and the questions are coming out, and it all gets very competitive, especially in our household.
It really does. We have to tell everybody to leave their spare mobile phones or mobiles belonging to everybody else in their house across their chests so we can see them and see that they're not Googling while the questions are coming up.
Absolutely.
It's kind of a bit ridiculous, but yeah, that it kills a wee bit time on a Friday night. Stevie, I'm sure you're doing something more cultural as well. Tell us what's all on. What can we get into this weekend?
Well, there's my piano intro. But what I'm looking forward to this weekend is Twelfth Night from the National Theatre. Stars Tamsin Gregg, and you may know her from episodes Green Wing, and if you listen to Radio 4, Debbie from The Archers. So apparently it's quite a modern retelling. I did get a trailer to broadcast, but unfortunately it's very visual, so it would be lost. But that's my cultural thing. Any sci-fi fans out there, the BBC has the complete box set of Torchwood, which is the spin-off from Doctor Who with John Barrowman, available on iPlayer now, but it's really for adults only. It's although it's a spin-off from Doctor Who, you don't want anyone under 16 watching it. And we have some 360-degree videos on the Open Times website. If folk want to see what Lockdown Oban looks like, you can follow a dashcam car in and choose your view and see how empty the streets are.
Did you do that yourself, Stevie? But is the dash cam in your car?
The dash cam was attached to the top of my car, so as I came into town, I just recorded it. That was last Friday, and given that it was, a week after Easter, how quiet the streets are. Yes, at 8 o'clock in the morning, of course they're quite quiet, but by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, just the same.
Oh, I'll have a look at that. That sounds interesting. We'll also get to see how bad your driving is, Stevie. So, Kathie, are you still there? I thought she'd been far too quiet for far too long.
Yeah, I did.
Hello.
Oh.
Hello, Kathie.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back.
Did you think I've got in my kayak again?
Well, we thought it had went strangely quiet, Kathie.
I'm having a fancy dress family time virtual quiz on Saturday. Oh, and it's my birthday next week, and it's my ex-husband's birthday on Sunday. So the young people who are scattered in Bournemouth and Leeds, they're going to come up with questions all about me and the dad, and then we'll see who wins. But also, people have been challenged to dress up either as me or Duncan, the dad, and that includes Granny, 85-year-old Granny in the Yorkshire Dales. So it's going to be interesting. There'll be some interesting outfits, I think.
That's
it. Wigs and hairy chests. There you go.
See, I can't compete with all this, can I? My plans for the weekend might be struggling to pick up a single dumbbell.
And I'm just wondering
somebody's watching Shakespeare and somebody's doing a quiz and making culinary dishes, and someone else having organised fancy dress.
Alice, I did think you were going to say, I'll be struggling to pick up a woman then. I didn't expect you to say a dumbbell.
Well, that as well.
And I'm just wondering, out of Kathie and Duncan, who's got the red hair and who's got the hairy chest?
Wow.
Kathie?
Keep you guessing. Actually, I meant to say hairy face, not chest. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, so that's
sorry if you can hear some banging. That's my lovely husband bringing me a cup of coffee. Morning, Malcolm.
Morning, Malcolm.
Morning, Malcolm. Is he slamming it on the table? There you are. There's your coffee.
Something like that.
Is he huffing?
Has it just been looking around the house for me for about an hour, wondering where I was talking from?
That didn't sound like a coffee cup to me. That sounded like a glass of something.
Yeah. Only at the weekends, Ellis. Only at the
Well,
weekend.
it's Friday, so that's it. You've fulfilled the requirements. It's Friday and the sun's shining, so that's the weekend as far as I'm concerned.
We actually had this conversation on WhatsApp last weekend, Stevie, didn't we? What time it is acceptable to have an alcoholic drink on a nice sunny day?
Yes, and I don't see the problem with now, basically.
just now.
I don't think you have to put a time in it. I think now.
When it feels right.
Yeah,
when it feels
when
right.
it feels right. When you're out of your kayak, you've put your dumbbell down and you don't have any coffee, and you're out of your little boiler dark room, now is the time.
Okay.
So the message is any o'clock.
Any o'clock. Oh.
I think in the West Coast, when the sun's above the cloud.
That makes sense, Stevie, because that doesn't really happen very often.
Exactly.
I'm just
You could wait months for a drink based on that.
Yeah, we'll let you off for that one.
Are you still doing your Joe Wicks, Stevie?
I am still doing Joe Wicks. This week has been tough.
Is he ramping it up?
He's a nice enough chap, but he had a whiteboard and he was tossing coins between the next one being an easy one or a hard one. And even he's convinced that he's got a fake coin that's showing up tails all the time. And I was very, very close to just saying, I can't do this anymore tonight.
Oh,
it's really taken off, hasn't it? What he's doing.
He has.
Does he not? Is there not anyone else that's doing that type of thing? Why are his sessions proving so popular?
I think because the kids. I mean, it's aimed at kids. Let's face it. I'm not a kid, but my daughter got me into doing it. And I'm sure lots of mums and dads are being brought in to do it because their kids are saying, oh, Joe Wicks is on the telly. Come on, mum. Come on, dad. Let's do our stuff. And, if you've got families doing it, I mean, he reckoned the other night he had 300,000 connections to his YouTube channel live. And if that's, 2 or 3 people on average watching and doing it, that's a lot of folk. He obviously, he hits the right note. He's very good. He's very supportive. But, it can be really tough.
Yeah, and there are other people doing it. I do the Green Goddess every single morning.
Oh, she's a star, isn't she?
She does it from her chair, bless her. And you can just lift you don't even need your dumbbell, Ellis. You can do it with your cup of coffee. You just lift up, or your vodka and soda, or whatever you have in your hand at 9 o'clock in the morning.
But usually a notebook and a pen. Primed for the day's news.
Well, there you go. You can do your exercises with your notebook and pen.
Yeah, in the last week I finally got round to watching Star Trek Continues, which if you're an avid Trekkie out there, you'll know that it's a new online series that picks up where Captain Kirk, played by William Shatner, left off. So it kind of takes you back to that kind of retro 1960s, 1970s feel of Star Trek with the original kind of characters, costumes, and kind of sets. And I've really enjoyed this, and I'd forgotten what quite a keen Star Trek fan I was. And, I used to watch it when I was a little boy, and it's really taken me back because it's got a lot of the sort of the original sounds of when the doors open and when the buttons are flashing, and the way it's been produced and the way it's been acted is just so like the original version that you used to see on TV. So I've had a lot of enjoyment from that. What about you, Stevie? Have you been following it?
Well, I've completed the whole thing. So there is no more. There are 11 episodes and that's it. So I'm on to things like Star Trek Picard and Star Trek Discovery, which are produced by CBS and Netflix.
I just say I'm finding out so much more about our work colleagues since we've been in lockdown.
But I wasn't happy with Scotty's voice and his Scottish accent. And what did you think about that, Stevie?
Well, I think what you've got to remember is that James Doohan, the original Scotty, and it's his son that's playing Scotty in this series. His accent wasn't great either. But I do believe that he was very good at accents, but when he did a Scottish accent, the Americans got him to tone it down a little so that people might have a possibility of understanding it. So it's a kind of a pseudo-Hollywood Scottish accent just to keep the Americans happy.
I think she's going to blow, Captain.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
is that good?
It was a bit hammed up, wasn't it? You know, and I think it's nice that they've used the son of the original Scotty to play the role that his father did, but it would have been nice to have heard an authentic Scottish accent on there, because there's nothing like it, is there?
Here at the Oban Times, we're always happy to hear your stories and to show your photos. So get in touch with us by calling 01631 568 000, email us at editor@obantimes.co.uk, or message us on Facebook. You can also pick up your copies of the OT from the supermarkets, petrol stations, newsagents. You can subscribe as well. For 3 months, it's just £4.80, and for that you get the full digital page-turning edition of the OT. So have a great weekend out there, folks. Take care, stay safe, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Yeah, so let's wrap that up for this week. In the meantime, it's goodbye from me, Fiona Scott.
And bye from me, Kathie Griffiths.
Goodbye from me, Alice Butcher.
And goodbye from me, Stephen Day.
Bye.